Every night at midnight, Mike would unlock the doors of a gas station in the middle of nowhere in Nevada, thinking he had the easiest job in the world. But what happened during those lonely hours would change everything he thought he knew about being alone. Picture this. You're 22 years old, fresh out of college, and desperate for any job that pays the bills. When Mike saw the posting for an overnight gas station attendant, it seemed perfect. $12 an hour to pump gas, restock energy drinks, and maybe catch up on some reading. The isolation didn't bother him. In fact, he welcomed it. The Sunset Gas and Go sat at the intersection of two forgotten highways, surrounded by nothing but desert scrub and darkness. During his first week, Mike saw maybe 10 customers total across 7 shifts. Truckers mostly, grabbing coffee and diesel before disappearing back into the night. He spent most of his time organizing the candy aisle and watching old movies on his phone. It was almost peaceful. But during his second week, things started feeling different. It began subtly, with the customers who never bought anything. A woman in a faded blue dress would walk in around 2 a.m., browse the magazines for exactly 7 minutes, then leave without a word. She never acknowledged Mike's greetings, never made eye contact, and never touched anything except the magazine rack. Every single night, same routine, same timing. Then there was the man in the cowboy hat who would pull up in a rusty pickup truck, walk straight to the bathroom, stay for less than a minute, and drive away. Mike never heard the toilet flush or the water run. He'd just stand there, staring at himself in the mirror above the sink. At first, Mike just assumed these were quirky locals with unusual habits. Rural communities breed eccentric characters, right? That's what he told himself. But as the weeks passed, he began noticing unsettling patterns that made his stomach twist with unease. The woman in the blue dress never aged. In 3 months of nightly visits, she looked exactly the same. Same smooth skin, same neat hair, same pristine dress that should have shown somewhere after months of desert dust and wind. Mike started trying to take photos with his phone, but the images always came out blurry or completely black. And the cowboy hat man's truck? It had no license plates. Every other vehicle Mike had ever seen carried Nevada plates, out-of-state tags, or at least dealer temporary permits. But this rust bucket pickup displayed absolutely nothing where the plate should be. Just empty mounting brackets and faded paint. He started to feel a constant, low-level dread settle in his chest. More disturbing, though, were the customers who spoke in perfect synchronization. Throughout the night, 3 different people would enter, order the exact same items, using the exact same words, with the exact same inflection. Large coffee, black, and a pack of Marlboro Reds, please. Same tone, same pauses, same slight nod afterward. Different faces, different clothes, but somehow, the exact same person was speaking through them. Mike started keeping a journal, documenting every strange interaction. His entries grew longer and more frantic as the patterns became too clear to ignore. He noted customers who cast no reflections in the station's convex security mirrors. He wrote about people who paid with coins that felt ice cold, even in the sweltering Nevada heat. And then, there were the visitors who knew his name, despite him never wearing a name tag or introducing himself. The sense of isolation he once welcomed was now turning into a suffocating paranoia. The breaking point came during his 4th month. Around 3:30 a.m., a family of 4 entered the station. Parents and 2 young children, all dressed like they were heading to church in the 1950s. The father approached the counter while the family browsed the snack aisles. "We need directions to Mercy General Hospital," the father said, his voice calm and even. "Our boy took ill during the drive." Mike glanced at the children. Both looked perfectly healthy, playing happily with candy packages. "I'm sorry," he replied, "but there's no Mercy General around here. The nearest hospital is about 60 miles east in." "Mercy General Hospital," the father repeated, his tone and expression unchanged. "Our boy took ill during the drive." Mike tried explaining again, suggesting other medical facilities, but the father just kept repeating the identical request, like a broken record. Meanwhile, the rest of the family continued browsing, but they weren't just looking. They were placing items back on the shelves in perfect alignment, as if they were restocking rather than shopping. After 20 minutes of this maddening, circular conversation, the family simply walked out. Mike rushed to the door and looked down. Despite the sandy dust that covered the floor and showed every other customer's path, they had left no footprints. Later, his hands shaking, he checked the security footage. The camera feed showed nothing. Just empty frames for the entire time period they were there. It was as if they had never existed. That was it. Mike called his manager and quit on the spot. He packed his few belongings and drove straight back to California, never looking back at the Sunset Gas and Go or the desolate highways that surrounded it. He tried to forget, to convince himself it was just a bad dream. 2 months later, curiosity got the better of him. He searched online for any information about the gas station, wondering if other employees had experienced the same things. What he found chilled him to the bone. An old news archive popped up. The Sunset Gas and Go had burned down to the ground in 1987. According to the article, the fire had killed the overnight attendant, a young man named David, who was found at his post, apparently trying to serve customers until the very end. Mike had spent 4 months working at a gas station that didn't exist, serving customers who had been dead for decades, living in a reality that should have been impossible. He never returned to Nevada. He never took another overnight job. And to this day, he still checks twice before accepting that any place he visits is actually real. Some might say he imagined everything, that isolation and night shifts can play tricks on the mind. But Mike knows what he experienced. And he knows that some places exist between worlds, where the past refuses to stay buried. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more strange tales from the shadows. Stay safe out there.